the whole stigma, like I don't think a Tinder could ever rebrand itself as like this is for dating. Like when you think of Tinder, it's like if you do this, it's maybe you're on a vacation, you're in a city or whatever, and like you're literally looking for a one night stand. Also, I was looking at your TikTok, and I don't know what this was, but it was a podcast on one of your TikToks, and they're talking about another story, and this guy with the stomach issues, and he goes home and he tried to sprint back or break in, but he ended up getting arrested, and this girl had to lock herself in the closet. It's just like shit like that is
That's
crazy.
that's true, and that's my partner Carter's story, and like that was one of the reasons he wanted to join and do this with me. Like, I don't want to fearmonger like too much, right? And like emphasize the safety. It's more about the fact that it's your friends. These are people that you think you're going to match with, but like the safety is impossible to ignore, right? And I
Right.
think that's a critical and the main component of why these apps aren't working. You're right. You can't rebrand as Tinder, right? You could look at the stock, um, and you could look at the way the company's going. Like it's just tough, right? Because branding is everything, and there's a reason why a 45-year-old hasn't made the next big dating app for 22-year-olds, right? Or 23-year-olds or 27-year-olds or even a senior or junior in college, right? They
Yeah.
just don't understand what's going on in our generation. They can't pick up on the trends, and they can't be a front-facing person for these people, right? Because you can't relate. And that whole model worked, right? Like my parents met at a bar as complete strangers 30 years ago, right? But that's not how the average person in our generation thinks they're going to meet their next significant other. Um, yeah.
What do you think are the biggest pain points from a dating aspect in our generation?
Yeah. So I think we've spoken about the sort of mutuals component of our app already in the stranger element, but I think the second biggest focus and the second biggest deterrent for traditional dating apps is actually the fear of rejection for
Mm.
people in Gen Z. 90% of people on dating apps in Gen Z fear rejection, which is crazy. That obviously means making the first move and shooting your shot. So there's a couple different issues with that. For men, it's oftentimes not knowing how to make the first move. I think COVID played a role. I think social media plays a role. People are less in person. People are more comfortable staying at home and don't know necessarily how to talk, and that's a massive issue. Um, for women, it's simply not wanting to make the first move, right? There's a stigma behind letting the guy make the first move. And because both genders have that issue, you've seen celibacy rates in the country skyrocket, right? And people just don't know how to engage with one another. And we combat that through a couple different ways. The main way is our anonymous liking system. I'll use the name Jessica again. Let's say Jessica's profile appears. I go and like Jessica's profile. She receives a notification saying a mutual has liked your profile. The next time Jessica's on the app, maybe 2 or 3 days down the line, my profile, of course, discreetly would then appear. If she likes me back, as opposed to the match dropping instantly,
Mm.
where she would know that I made the first move, all matches drop at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. So that does a couple of things. A, you're shooting your shot in complete silence. You don't even know if you got rejected. No one knows who made the first move because the match doesn't drop instantly, right? And you can go and check out the mutuals way before that first date,
Mm.
providing that safety element. And the last part's the virality of that all, right? Like checking in on your phone every day at 8 p.m. Eastern. When I was in Georgetown, still in school, you could look into the library and see everyone at 8 p.m. on their phones checking to see if they've gotten any matches.
It's like Be Real. That it's like similar to
Yep.
Be Real.
It's exactly what we tried to emulate.
I think
That sort
that's
of moment in time each day where everyone's on the phone because and checking to see if they have matches. Um, yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Somewhere on the screen should direct you to somewhere else in our channel. But as always, believe foolishly.